Hello, welcome back. All right. I think we're up to session 4 today in Adobe Illustrator. Yes, session 4. We're back to the routine. So we had a little break. We did a little Bauhaus poster for session 3. That was kind of like a little relaxer. Do something on your own. Everything you've learned up till now, making squares and typesetting with area text and point text, you've done this now a couple times, not a ton, but enough that you should be able to develop your very first poster, which is exciting. We're in session 4, so we're back to the other one. We're going to continue to practice the lettering expressions. Each time we do these now, I'm going to start showing you an extra little tool here and there that you can start changing and start playing around and making things different. I'll try not to do too much at once because I get very excited. I'm like, and then you can do this, and then you can do that. But I'll kind of do it a little bit at a time. I'll still take you through the process of how to create the 3 documents and all that kind of stuff. So we'll do lettering expressions, we'll do typographic challenges, and then design mission 3. This is the kicker one. This is learning the pen tool. And I have created an assignment with lots of flames and a phoenix that you'll trace, and it's all with the pen tool. It's going to look crazy. It's going to be one of the harder ones to start with, but once you get this done, like once you get this understood, you can basically create anything. And that's the beauty of what we call the pen tool in Illustrator, is it allows you to like sort of start to combine shapes and then start to add on and or create your own shapes and design what you want to design. So it's gonna be fun. I really like it. The pen tool is amazing. So, all right, let's get started. I'm going to go through this. The lettering expressions, again, same that we've always been doing. I changed the sizes just to keep you thinking. That's the wrong program. Let's go to home so we all start the same way. I'm just going to go to new file and I can click on print, change points to inches. Don't forget to do that because otherwise you'll have the world's smallest document. You'll be wondering why things are all messed up. Speaking of which, so I made my cursor big for you guys. And now it takes me twice as long to click on stuff. So it's 4 inches by 6 inches. We are going to put in the bleed. The bleed will be 0.25. For me, it's always the same, but it just kind of standardized on doing the same thing. And then we're going to click on more settings. We want number of artboards to be 3. We are going to have them in a horizontal configuration, 1 inch apart. Again, this is the 4th time you're doing this, so this should all be kind of coming together for you. So 3 pages, 1 inch spacing, 4 by 6. We got the bleed. Let's create that document. And then let's add a margin layer. So I'm going to double click on the margin layer right there. Type in margin. I'm going to create that box. And I'm just going to make a general box because the dimensions are listed in the assignment. And the margin box is 3.5. And I'm just going to hit the tab by 5.5. And then like always, as we always do, we're going to walk down this properties panel. 3.5 by 5.5. The fill, nothing. We don't want anything in the middle. The stroke, we want magenta. Again, why magenta? It's the industry standard. It's everybody just kind of does magenta. It's because of CMYK printing, and they can quote unquote strip out a color, and they just kind of pick magenta because it's a single color and it's a single ink. C is cyan, M is magenta, Y is yellow, and K is black. But they can, it's called stripping it out, and they can strip that out easily if it's a solid color from the print. Because when you look in a magazine or a book or anything, it's printed in CMYK unless They use Pantone. And so everything's composed of those 4 color combinations. So no fill, stroke is magenta, 1 point. I'm going to make sure it's centered and centered. I'm going to copy. You can see down here, copy. I'm going to edit, paste on all artboards. Then before I close that out, I'm going to go up to the hamburger menu in the corner. I'm going to click template. Now these stay magenta. You know where the edge is. You know where to stay away from when you're designing. Nothing should go beyond the margin. That's our safety zone. That's a good way to say it. Safety zone. The margin is the safety zone. And then we can create our crop. Oh, wait, the guides. I always get excited and I jump too fast. So I'm going to turn on my ruler. View, rulers. Why didn't it go? Show rulers. And I'm going to pull my 3 points. They click in. It should automatically be set with those settings where it just, you get close and then pow, the midpoint shows up. And then one for, and I do this on all my documents. I do it because it's just nice to know when you're designing, where's the center? Like, okay, then I can work off that. Even if it's asymmetrical design, I know exactly where the center is. Next layer is crop marks. We're going to draw that box, the size of the artboard. We're going to double check it. 4 by 6 is correct. No fill and no stroke. We want this to be an invisible box. But then what we do after we make sure it's perfectly centered is we can go to FX, 3 down on there, hit crop marks. Where did it go? Mine disappeared. Where did my crop marks go? Well, let's just redo that real quick. Draw a square. 4 by 6, no fill, no stroke. Centered, centered, FX, crop marks. There they are. So then I'm going to do that same thing. Copy. And then we're going to paste on all artboards all the way across. We're going to lock that up. And then we got our text. And we're going to type. TYPE. Move that down. And I'll only do 1 today. Clown, nipped, and dead. So I'll start with clown. Sans serif, bold. Sans serif means without the little extra parts. Helvetica, Arial. I'm going to do all caps. I'm going to make it bigger. Hold down shift. Every time we scale, we hold down shift. I'm going to find a font to use. The sans serif. I'll go quickly. There, I can do this. All right. I'm just checking. Can we change a color? I think we're allowed to. All right, so I have this. I'm just double checking. I don't want to do something you can't do. All right, so I have this word. I'm going to go to type and create outlines and then ungroup. And then I can start to move these around. And I had this, like, does it have to read in order? I'm trying to think, like, how to do it. It's kind of OWN. I wanted, like, this to be a mouth or a nose. But, like, is it still the words? How can you still read it? And you can move these around and, like, and every time I turn, unless I'm moving arbitrarily, I hold down shift. And I was trying to, like, Maybe I want this back like this. I was trying to think of like hair or something. Maybe this O should be smaller, and I can make the O smaller. So you can play with the sizes of the letters. I want like a little mouth. Let's change it to red. Now I can't add anything else. But the C and the L, oh, that's one. That wouldn't read right. Oh, I'm just going off the cuff. Maybe I make this. So if I made that smaller, it becomes like an ear. I don't know. If I turn this on its side, do we know it's still a W? I don't know. Maybe it's like an abstract clown. Maybe abstract. Oh, what if I turn this sideways too? Let's go like that. No, I'm not feeling it. I don't know. It's kind of like an abstract. I'm taking it as abstract. Don't stretch your squish. Sorry, type A. I don't see that I don't have use color. All right. So there's like something basic, but I'll show you something. So you can change, manipulate, move these, and then you can do like overlaps, you know, like and crazy stuff. And one fun one for overlapping, like there's a word that you're going to use, and I'll show you. There's two P's in it. It's the second word. I'm just moving off to the side. I'll go onto the white page. It's easier to see. But I want you to like play around. Think of your own ideas and how you can create that. Even changing the font. You know, I didn't want to take forever picking a font. So I kind of did it as quick as I can. These are fun. But you take some time. Take some time to think. If you wanted me to do over an hour, you'd be like, oh my God, it took an hour, 20 minutes a piece. I could seriously do that if I was just sitting around. So I'm going to change it, create outlines. Now I have two P's. I'm going to ungroup them. Now if I overlap them, if I grab them both, I'm going to zoom in. They're overlapped, and you can see this area right here. I can cut that out. Super easy. So you have to have both letters connected, like grab both letters, and that's just a drag and pull. I think we've done that. You can grab two objects at once or two design elements at once. And then I'm going to use what's called the shape builder. And it's this circle, dotted line circle with an arrow. It's the shape builder. I do not know what the shortcut key is, but if you're on the shape builder and you kind of go over something, I'm not clicking, things start to turn gray. And what you can do is you can click on an area, and sometimes I just draw like a little thing and it turned it red. So that isolated that little bit. And if I go back, and I should be able to then click on that and delete it, and it removed that little area from those letters. And so it's this really crazy way to either join or undo shapes. So I want to go back up far enough. So I have my two P's, and I just showed how, you know, you grab them both. I take the shape builder. Now I can make them one full unit as well. If I just kind of draw through everything and they all turn gray and I let go, now they're all just one solid shape in itself. And that's helpful later on when you're creating better things. Instead of just overlapping two things and hopefully it's done, like you're creating a logo, you'd actually join it so nobody can undo what you created. It's a way of like kind of cementing in stone, like, nope, this is how I want it. But I would say I 90% of the time use it for when I want to cut something out and I have something overlapping, and I want that middle, and I'm like, how do I get to that? It's the shape builder. And then you grab that, go back to the select tool, and then you click on that, and you can hit delete. And now you have that shape cut out of the middle. And then if you need to, you group these. Again, grouping is when you take two design elements and you make them quote unquote one piece. And it's object group. Now when I grab one, they both move around. Again, helpful when you're designing and you're setting up parts and you're like, I like how this section is working. You can like grab those two pieces, go to object group, and then whenever I click just the L, the C will go with it automatically. And then I can be like, well, I'm going to adjust this and I'm going to move this here. You know, so that's a really great thing. So shape builder, really interesting. I'll do it with some shapes to kind of show you a little bit more. And then I'll move on. So I have a square. I'll do a circle. And I'll do a triangle. So if I grabbed all of these and say I just wanted only this one part, well, actually, you can then dissect all these. There's quicker ways to do a certain amount of things, but I just want that center section or this part. That's what the shape builder can do. You can just isolate certain areas, be like, I want that part isolated. Now when I grab that, and I can delete that out. And then that's missing from that. But all this is still on its own. So it's a great way to create weird stuff. Like this is kind of a cool shape now. So shape builder, all I'd say is maybe play around with it a little bit. See what it can do for you. We'll use it again later in some other projects. This is the setup for the next lettering expressions. Show me the definition of that word. What does that word mean to you? And can you do that with just the letters themselves? That's the key there. And as we move forward in the semester, I'm going to get a little bit more and more like, well, what I may question your design. That if you just give me, you know, the word and it's just typed out straight with a little bit, I'll be like, well, how does that make it clown to you? Or how does that make that this to you? Like, explain to me more. So I will start bringing that up in the future. So just know, like, oh, in the beginning, I'm a little soft. And then I get a little bit tougher and tougher and tougher. All right. So we know how to do this. This is the third time we're doing these. Let's check out the typographic challenge. This week it is, or this session, not week, it is To Kill a Mockingbird. We have a different file size again. We have our title, our body copy, our author, and then we can find a image for the cover. I found this cutie. I like that. So I'm going to use this one. But let's get it set up per the instructions. And then I'll show you something new you can do with the body copy. And that's the exciting part. Because for the most part, you've been using a square or using the body copy. And this coincides with the pen tool. You can put copy into any shape you want, which is the crazy part. And I want you to start playing around with that as well. So before we get into that, let's create our document, new file, print, inches, 7 by 4. Let's go 7, tab 4, bleed 0.25. Then we're going to go to more settings. Number of artboards is 3. The spacing is 1 inch. I want them horizontal. You know, just going straight across makes it easier to find, easier to see. You always got to check. There's always a reason for something. And if you don't like the way something is, there's always a button to change it. So like everybody just default is kind of the worst. Like always look around a little bit more when you're designing, when you're creating something. Oh, why did you do what it did? Well, that's what it opened with. Well, that's not a good answer. Like play around. Like you can change it and make things better, make them how you want. That's why I highly suggest, you know, when you get Illustrator, you open it. I should say, oh, and this is the other one. Something new to know. I use this setup all the time. Illustrator remembers that. Like, you know, when I open it, if I change something, it kind of remembers it, but you can also save that. So I can save my workspace. So I saved as Joel 01. So I own a window and it's a workspace. It's Joel 01. So when you open up, you know, this is what you get when you open Illustrator. I'm like, oh, I want you to like, you know, pull everything away, and I want you to have properties on one side and layers on the other. You can always reset, or you can be like, I don't like it like that. I want to change it for my working. You can change it. And then if you get confused, you can always reset. So like here I'm at this point, like, oh, I don't remember what I had. I go to workspace in Joel 1 and it resets it. Yes.
What was the width and the height again?
Oh, it's in the assignment, but it's 7 by 4. So now, so always like dig around, figure out how you want stuff. Maybe you want to see more of these panels and you can hide them in certain areas, but play around. And I hate to say this too, but I don't hate to say it because I do it constantly. I look up a lot of stuff on the internet to this day of like, oh, something's not like, why is it like this? And I'll type into Google, how come this looks like this? And then it'll tell you, and then I'll tell you how to change it. And then I'll go and I change it. It's like 2-minute searches these days. Like you stop for 2 minutes, like, you know, me finding out how to make the giant cursor. I knew it was doable, and that was actually a Mac thing, but always look stuff up. If you have a question, you can ask me. And if I don't know it, you know what I'm going to do? I just Google it, and then I type you the Google answer back. So Google is amazing. Like, how do you find this in Illustrator? Just Google it. And it's very quick and easy. So use all the resources. I continually use all the resources. It's not cheating. It's just being like, I want this to work more towards me. Is there a way to do it? And you'll find it out. I just did it today. I looked something up for Illustrator. I can't remember what it was, but like a lot of the times it's something I look up super quick. I do it and then I move on and I forget, you know, like, oh, great, I got it done. So continually explore, use everything at your whims. If you don't like something, look up other things. So we're going to make our margin layer as we always do. And again, the margin is the safety area. Every document you create as a professional designer, the printer will ask for the margin. The margin on this one is 6.5 by 3.5. We're going to go down. The fill, nothing. The stroke, magenta. Make sure it's 1 point. I'm going to center that up. And copy. And then edit, paste on all artboards. I'm going to turn on my ruler. So instead of going up here and going down here and going over here, I noticed that there's this little thing, and it's Command R. So from here on out, because I always, for every one of Joel's assignment, I got to turn on the rulers. Well, just learn the key command. So every time you do it, you don't have to go up to the top, scroll all the way down, go to the side to click on rulers. From now on, just go Command R. It's just like copy and paste. The more you use something, do you know that the select tool, right there, the one that we always go to, and I still don't do it, it's V. So if I'm on the square, watch what changes. See how that's a little bit darker? If I hit V, it goes right to that. I don't ever have to go over that toolbar. I just hit V, bam, it changes that. So start to look around. Some are a little bit, you have to press and hold, but they say direct select is A. There's every tool has a shortcut, and that's why you design with both hands. You don't just like have one hand on the mouse or stylus and then one hand like down, losing blood by the side of your body, doing nothing. One hand is always on that keyboard. If it's not on shift, it's doing something else for you. It speeds up that design process. That whole idea of going from here to here to here to here to here is like, oh, they made it easier. You don't always have to do that. So if I want rulers, boom, boom, I can turn them on and off that quick. It's just key commands. So start to look at them. And how do you know what they are? They're listed on the side of everything. And if there's no key command, that means just there's no key command. There are some things I wish there was key commands for, and there isn't. Or they're crazy like this. I don't know what that key is. This is you have to press 4 things at once. I'm not that dexterous. I don't know what 4 keys. That's Shift, Option, Command, and V. My hand cannot do that. Oh God, no. Yeah, my hand isn't physically able to do that. So I suck it up and I go to paste and all. But if your hand is that good, do it. But again, look at those little things and just notice, I'm always doing this one thing. Figure out the shortcut key and do it. And if you search for them, I used to have these printed like years ago, but then over time you memorize the ones you use the most. It even pops up. Adobe Illustrator shortcut keys, and Adobe makes a PDF. And then there's one for Mac and one for Windows, and that's it. That's everything. I know it's a little bit crazy, but like, I know you guys can't read that, but there is a place. And if you we're so inclined, you can print that out and have it by your desk and just like start referring to it and knowing like, oh, I go to this a lot, start to use it. It just speeds up your design time. In the beginning, you're like, oh, this doesn't speed anything up because I keep looking down to find it, but eventually it will. Midpoint. Now I'm just pulling my guide so I know the center of everything. And then I'm going to go rename it, margin. I jumped around a little bit there. Template. There we go. Let's make some crop marks. The box is the size of the artboard, 7x4, no fill, no stroke. Excuse me. As you may have heard, I'm getting over the flu. It was a horrible weekend. So, and then center it. This is what happened last time. What did I click? What's weird? Is there 2 there? So it should show, and something happened. I think it's my giant cursor is messing with me. So there I have my crop marks. They have now shown up. There they are. I can double check that they're centered. And then I'm going to go to copy. I'm going to use the shortcut key, and I don't have the dexterity, so I just hit paste on all artboards. I can zoom out, and there they are. A good one, speaking of shortcut keys, is zoom in, zoom out, and full page. I use them constantly. Under view, it's the zoom in. And for a Mac, it's Command and plus. Zoom out is Command minus. And fit artboard in window is Command 0. I do these like just nonstop off the back. Like I don't even think about it. So if I'm working on something, my hand is just like automatically I'm doing this, or I got to zoom out. Like it's as much as I use shift, I use those. So zooming in and zooming out, it's the best. So you're not always going to the magnifying glass to do what you need to do. You can just use the command keys. Zoom in, zoom out. Because you can kind of stay concentrating on your work rather than lifting your head and looking around the panel itself. So again, the shortcut keys are amazing. Let's make some layers here. Like going off on some tangents. I need that back. Body copy, title, author. So we'll just do body copy. Go down to the plus, title, author. This is just keeping our work organized. So we know when we did something where it was. Image. And you know what I'm going to throw in there? This is a bonus. Here's a bonus one. Do background. I'm going to do. Maybe you want to start throwing in a little color in the background. Why not? Let's try that. So I'm going to start with the title and author. I'm going to zoom into one. I'm going to copy and paste from the document next to me. I'm going to copy. And this is the point text where I'm just going to tap. And then I'm going to paste. And then I'm going to copy and paste the author. Copy. I'm back in here. I'm just going to tap. Paste. All right, I got these. But again, I'm going to change the font. Don't use the default font because we're better. We're creatives, not default. Ooh, look at that weird one. And then sometimes when I'm just at this stage and I look at it, I'm like, I need to just see it bigger. And then so just arbitrarily, I'll just make them bigger just to help me. You know, you can, this is your artboard. You do whatever works for you. Each designer develops certain habits. And it's okay. I do things different than the other person, than the other person, than the other person. You develop design habits. It is totally fine. But you do them to suit yourself. It's pretty, in the body copy, that's very hard to read. Let's do, I was going to do. Yeah, there we go. All right. And then I'm going to get all my parts in here. I'm going to go get my To Kill a Mockingbird, in which I'm just going to right click, copy image, go to image, and I'm going to paste. Oh boy, it's big. So I'm going to use those command keys. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to grab the select tool. I'm going to grab the corner. I'm going to hold shift. We always hold shift. I don't want any, I wanted it to fill that spot. That's not what we do. We always hold shift. It's a piece of artwork. If somebody pasted the Mona Lisa and squished its head, you'd be like, why'd you do that? That's wrong. You know, like we keep things constrained, it's called. Somebody developed these fonts and stuff. We keep it constrained. Now, you could go crazy. I'll do the yellow. So then I was like, wow, you can add color. So I'm going to go to the background and I'm going to use this color from the word kill. But I'm going to draw my box and I'm going to go to the red. Right now it's black, but I'm going to go to the red, not to the artboard. I'm going all the way past the artboard to the bleed, because I need that color to bleed off the edge of the artboard in case this needs to go to print. We practice as if we're actually going to do it. And then I'm just going to take that eyedropper, which I believe, if I keyboard to the select tool and I keyboard to I is for eyedropper, and I can change that to the orange. And then I can start to play around with my design elements and try different configurations and different styles. Now, let's get funky. I have that text, which I can copy and paste. Now, we know how to make shapes. So if I make a circle, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to stay on body copy. I'm going to lock everything, make body copy. I'm going to double check that I have this copied. Now I have a circle. I can either hold the type tool, but I just want to click on it. And I want to go near it. And a couple of things are going to happen. It's going to change in two ways. Oh, it's just doing the one. Did it do it? Oh, it wasn't selected. My bad. It has to be selected. All right. And then I should just be able to click on it. So I clicked on the circle, and it filled the circle with the text. And if I hit paste, because I mistakenly hit copy, but you work with a circle just like you would a square for the text. You can change the size of it and anything. And you can do any shape you want. So one of the cool ones is if you did a rectangle, and let's just say I did another rectangle. What if I grab these two, use that tool I just taught, where it's the shape builder, and I ran it through these two and made this weird shape. I'm going to make sure it's selected. I'm going to go to the type tool and do the same thing. And now, if I wanted to, my type can go around a corner. See how that happens? The greatest part is everything's editable as well. I can change the shapes. I can change how things look. So you want text in a star? I think we can do it. We made stars. I showed you how to change some of the parameters of the stars. Oh, I don't want it rounded. And I'm going to type tool, and I click on it. I can fill a star with text. So the reason I kind of showed you this is kind of for this one. So if I had my book, say down in the corner, and I make it small, and this is just hypothetical, just playing around, or maybe, and then I'll do this. Now I'm going to do something different. So what I do is I have a couple layers open now. The background is locked. I can't move the background. And I'm just, every time you see me go across, if you can't see that line, I'm grabbing two of something and move that up. And then I have a text box that I can also change. And I'm going to make it the size of the piece. But I was like, wait, I want it to match that. So what if I just get this out of the way? Bring this down. I'm going to draw two boxes. One. And remember, we never have text go up to an object. I have a gap. There's always a big gap. I was like, the weird way, I was trying to think of a better way to describe like this gap, this white space that I always ask for. It's standardized in graphic design. I'm like, it's called white space when you're designing. And I almost want to say like, it's a finger space. Think like you need enough room to be able to jam your finger in between the text and the image. Like there should always be a space. You don't want text ever touching an image. So now I have those. Ugh. And I'm on the wrong layer. Let's grab those and get them on the right layer. Getting so excited. So now I have those 2 boxes. I just drew 2 rectangles to fill this area. And as you can see, now I'm getting excited because I can make this To Kill a Mockingbird. Should we do that first? Because then maybe I can adjust some things before I set my type. Oh, okay. If I wanted it that big, then I need to move this box smaller. Oh, I kind of like this offset. I kind of like the way it's jumping. There's like the same amount of space here as there is there. And then I'm going to grab these 2 boxes. I'm going to go to Shape Builder. I'm going to draw through them. And I'm going to go to my text and copy and paste that in. I'm going to copy it. Make sure I'm selected. You always have to select the object first. Don't just use the type tool. It'll just make it arbitrary. And then I fill it. And then if I make the font bigger, it will fill into that edge. Let's reduce the leading. So then it flows around everything I want it to flow around. So you can use 2 things now. You can start to use the Shape Builder to create different shapes for your text to fill in. Or you can just use a different shape entirely for your text. Start to experiment, because then you can have like cool things happening where, oh, the text, it's called text wrapping, as the text wraps around the image. There is a way that the Illustrator can do it for you. It's not very good. A lot of the times when you let the computer do the work for you, it's not as good looking as if you were just to spend the 1 minute to do it yourself. So there, I could just draw a box and then I have to set up this text wrapping on this image, and then you have to set up how much parameters on each. It's actually more work. So this is a great way to do it. Like, you draw some boxes, use the Shape Builder, make them a complete shape, and then fill that with text. So start to play around. Now you might be understanding where I'm like, why does he give 2 hours for this assignment? Because I want you to start to play around and try different shapes, different ways to set it up. Practice using point text, area text with different shapes. Play around. And that's why over time, I want these to become more and more sophisticated and different. You know, if you just do the same thing each time, we're just stuck with the same thing each time. A good example, or I think you see it all over the place. This is text wrapping. And you can even make that shape. You know, there's one. I'm looking for another one. I only typed in the cover, so I doubt I'm going to get anything. They're all the same. Here's the same one again. Lighter background. So that's text wrapping. I want you to start to play around with that. With this design mission that we're going to do, where you learn the pen tool, it's going to open up even more opportunities for doing weird stuff. So let's jump into that. And again, if you have questions, if you missed something, please ask, reach out to me if you're having trouble, like, how did you do that with the Shape Builder? The Shape Builder is a little bit weird, but once you learn it, it's so much fun. We had discussions, we have to talk with corporate people. And when it came out, everybody was kind of like shy about it. And then when people started using it, they're like, this is the greatest tool Illustrator brought out. And it's brand new as to like a couple of years. It doesn't seem like, it seems like a long time, but 2 years for a brand new tool is amazing. It's brand new. I use it all the time. It's my go-to. It's one of my go-tos. Use it constantly. So let's go on to that last one of ours. Let's see where I'm at. Oh, no. Let's open up. Oh, I have it downloaded already. Oh, I thought I had it downloaded. All right. All right, this is a crazy one. Design mission 3. You thought you were tired of squares and rectangles. Well, you'll never see them on this one. We're going to work with the pen tool, and you're going to be drawing curves. Lots and lots of curves. So I downloaded that. I'll erase all that so you don't see it. Design mission. For me, I double click on it. If you have a PC, you right click and extract all. I do have a font in there if you need the font. You just double click on it and you can click install. That's the matching font. And then I have our mission. There it is. The Phoenix rising from the ashes. It is easier than you think. And actually, the funny part is, because look, like this list on the side is pretty short comparatively to the last two. There's only 4 colors to worry about. One of them is just a giant box. So, work your way through. Easiest to hardest sometimes. You make the big yellow box, background, call it done. I mean, I'll even do that. Like, background is a square. So I get the rectangle tool, I'm on background, and it's going to be the yellow. I'm going to go all the way out to the bleed. Make it to the red. The bleed is the red box around. I'll click I for eyedropper, and I'll click yellow. I'm going to lock that layer, and I'm going to turn off the eyeball. But I know it's done. I can see it filled in. Oh, here, maybe this will help you guys. I forgot about doing this. There's another one. You want to change something here? You can change how these look. You go, I clicked on that hamburger menu, and I go to panel options. If I could click large, hit OK. It makes these bigger if you're like really used to using these. So you can change the size of those. So I have a layer for the title. If we want to do the title right away, just click on the T. I'm going to click once, point text, type PHOENIX. I'm going to go to the, I'm going to hit V. I'm going to start speeding up my process. Oh, here's the funny part. All right, I want everybody to see that. This happens. So I had this typed, and it's something to this day, 30-some years of using these programs. If you are in a type situation where the cursor is blinking and you go to do a key command, the key command will type out. So I was like, oh, I'll switch to the select tool. And I hit V. Well, it's just going to type a V. So there are certain points into which you actually have to go off of it and make sure you're not in text editing mode. I do this all the time with the space bar to move something. I will have the text open and be like, oh, I want to see over here. And I'll hit the space bar and try to move, and all this junk will happen. I'll be like, oh, I was in it, and now I have a ton of extra spaces everywhere. Common mistake when you're dealing with typography and using quick keys or shortcuts. So just kind of know that. See, now is off of it. I'm on select. I can hold down the space bar, and I can get this to resize. I'm going to make it bigger. I can't remember the name of the font. Magnum. It should be loaded by now. Sometimes it takes a minute. When you, I don't know why there's a delay. When you load a font, like Adobe products always take like 2 minutes to load the font. I'm gonna make that big, bring that down. Oh, I bet you that P is different. I wonder if the lowercase p. No big deal. But I have that. Go to I. Click on that. The title's done. All right. I'm going to hide that layer. I make the eyeball go away. Now I'm going to work on the flames. I'm going to move off to the side, and we're going to teach you the pen tool. I'm on the flames layer. I got everything else locked, and I turned off the color version so I can see my lines. The pen tool is right here. I want you to use this pen tool, not this one. This is the pen tool. Now it comes out, it's all about click. And when you click, it creates a point. It creates an anchor point. And if right now, as I move around, it's got this little rubber band thing, right? I think it's called, like, it's a kind of rubber band effect. It follows me wherever I go. Oink, oink, oink. If I click again, it adds another point. It says you wanted a point there. If I click again, it adds another point. And I can start to just click around. Now, as you notice, these are all straight lines. And when I come all the way back around, watch my little pen. See that circle pop up? I'm going around, I'm clicking, but when I go to here and that circle pops up and I click again, that is an indication that I made a shape and not a line. If I want a line, I simply can do click, 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 click. And if I hit enter, I'm going to hit return. But I have it set on fill. But if I go and turn fill to nothing and stroke to that color, and I have to crank it so you guys can see it, I made a line. So this is where that comes in, knowing which is which. And I know we've been doing like the margin. I'm like, no fill, no stroke. The stroke is what makes a line visible in Illustrator. Now we're going to be dealing with fills only. I'm very against having outlines on objects. It just makes it look cartoony, not as professional. So I want you to first, before you jump in, is to make some, just get used. Go to the pen tool, it's filled, and just like click, 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 whatever shape, click, 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 and around. Make a bunch of weird shapes. And know that these act like shapes. If I go to the select tool, I can make them bigger, I can make them smaller, make it bigger. I can do everything I did with the shapes that come with the program, squares and circles. I can even use my shape builder and like cut out parts and delete them. So the pen tool allows you to do any shape you can imagine. But Joel, the curves. This is where it changes. This is where you need to have your hand on the keyboard. And this is where it becomes difficult if you're using a trackpad, because you're going to click, then click and drag. So let's see what that looks like. I'm going to click. Well, you don't hold on shift first, but if you click once, and now I'm going to click and drag, it becomes a curve. And then depending on where I go here, changes the curve. If I click and drag again, I create a new curve. And I click and drag again, and I create a new curve. So to create curves, it's all about clicking and dragging. I'm going to go all the way around. Now what happens is you can kind of create any shape you want. But you get, these are called Bezier curves. It's a mathematical term. And what you get is you're going to get these weird nodes with these weird things coming off. This is an anchor point. And this weird thing coming off, I believe it's called a handlebar. What you can do is with the direct select tool, so not the select tool, but the one right below it, this is the magic for changing that. I can click on that, 2 handlebars come out, and I can steer this into the shape I want. If I pull it out, it makes it real wonky. I can go in, and I can even go in so far as to, it goes from a curve to a straight line. This is where things get weird and difficult. It is understanding when to click and drag, click and drag takes a little bit of time. But by clicking and dragging and practicing, we can figure it out. It's a little bit of it's almost like a dance. You just like click and you look and you click again and you drag. The best way to use this too is by tracing something. All people, designers, they will bring in a reference exactly like what you are doing and trace it. They'll get a reference. Oh, I need a, I don't know. I know a student did this a year or two ago. I need a bubble gum machine for this project. And you bring it in and you click and you drag and you trace it. So using the pen tool is awesome for that tracing, and it gets you the customization you want. The pen tool is really great. So it's click, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. And you just go around and you try and you be smooth. Here's what I don't want you to do, which I guarantee there'll be some people who do this because they get nervous. They're working on this and they're like, holy cow, there's a lot of lines. I don't know what I do. And so we do this, which is wrong. Click, 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 click. And they're like, oh yeah, check out that beautiful curve. That's not a curve. That's, I should flip this. I'm sorry. Like that's a bunch of wonky shapes and it took you forever. Like to get that shape using the proper curve, I'm going to click once, click twice, 2, 3, 4. So I can get this or this. This took me 800 clicks. This took me 4. And it's really smooth and beautiful. So you don't like, oh, you get frustrated. I don't know how to make a curved line. And so here's my circle. I drew a circle. Like what? No, you can click 4 times and draw an ovalish circle. 1, click and drag, click and drag. It's not perfect. Of course, you'd use the circle tool, but I mean, I hope you're understanding. Don't cheat. Because I'm going to look at these, like it's almost cheating. And people would be like, oh, I made that curve. And I'm like, there's 800 clicks there. Like you're going to get hand injury for clicking so much. Trust the process. Now I'm going to go through, and this is one where you kind of want to be zoomed in, and you're going to be using the hand, the space bar, the pen tool, and then you want to make sure, I would say, do the stroke, don't have it filled, because when you get to a certain point, there's something weird that happens. So make sure you have, I'll show you what weird happens. If I start drawing and I have it set to fill, don't worry, I'm going to go back and show you exactly how to do this. When I come back on myself, things start to disappear and it makes it very hard. Oh, I really have this nice that they're not disappearing. Weird stuff like this happens where it starts to fill in areas that I don't want. And then you sometimes can't see what's going on. That's because the computer is mathematically in its head drawing a line from your start point to your end point, no matter where it is. Even if you're like, why is this negative and this is filled, like this is crazy, it's a math thing. So you just want to when you're doing this, make sure that maybe you have no fill for the drawing part of it, and you pick a nice color in the beginning, pick something you can really see. And then when you're done, use the eyedropper, and then you select the color, and boom, you're done. I'll show you this. Let's do it. So I'm going to select, and I'm going to just, let's go with, I want my pen. I'm clicked on the pen tool. I'm on stroke, and I'm going to make it like 4 point. Now, when I do this, I'm going to look, and I'm not going to go really short. I'm going to see how far is it from the start point to the furthest out, to the furthest in, to like a stop point. I'm finding like waypoints. I'm not doing little stops along the way. I'm seeing how far can I go before I stop again. So I'm going to click, and then I'm going to go like, this is the fattest part of the bottom. I'm going to click and drag and watch that yellow go to the black line and let go. Now, if I go to this inner part, it's starting to go where I want. If I click and drag and go straight up, oh, it's making that weird S-curve for me. And you can just go this slow. And then I'm at the top, like there's a little peak there, and I just click once. I clicked once because I just want to turn around now. I didn't click and drag at the points. When you get to the top of a flame, just click once, and then you can turn around. And I'm going again to the widest part of this row. And I'm going to click and drag. And then it dips around and it goes here. And I'm going to click and drag all the way up to here. And then I'm going to click and drag. And I'm going to go around to this bottom point, knowing that it's going to mysteriously come out here. I have to make an arbitrary point there. And don't worry, I'm going to stop here and then show you how to edit. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit OK. All right. So I have this line. Now, if I go to this direct select tool, I can now adjust. This curve isn't as good as I want it to be. I'm on the white direct select, which I believe is A. And then can you, yeah, hold on. No volume, thank you. So I can click on this anchor point once, and these handlebars come out. And then I can pull on the handlebars and get it to fill the area. So that now I know that's in the correct area. So you can go, and afterwards you can tweak everything and make it as smooth or as bumpy as you want. Maybe you want it bumpy. So you just go around. Well, I took a break there. What do I do now that I have a line? Like, what next? Like, I stopped. Now it's in this weird spot. If I go back to the pen tool and just click, see how my little asterisk turns into a line? That's it saying, let's continue. You want a line? Let's continue the line. And I'm going to click and drag to continue that line. Now, sometimes when you do stuff, it gets a little twitchy, but that's okay. Just trust, like, be slow. This isn't, the more you do it, the faster you get. But while this is still, see I have my rubber band, I can still hit the space bar and move to the next section and then find that point where I want to click and drag. And I know, like, oh, I'm going to have to come back and fix that. I'll come back and fix it, just like I showed you. Then I'm going to grab some more, and I'm going to click up there, and I'll fix that. And I'm going to click and drag. And it's all about the click and drag, space bar move, find another section, click and drag. Don't worry, I'm going to fix that up. And it's easier than you think. The whole thing is you want less points than more. to get a smoother line. And then the more you do this, the more I can just look and be like, I know exactly where these points need to be just from doing, not flames so much, but just by doing, click and drags for shapes that I want. And I'll stop. And you get to a point and you're like, I need a break. You can go back and fix. I'm gonna go all the way up to this tall one. And you can zoom out while you're doing this. If you want it a little bit further out, I want this really tall one. Oh, I have to show you that. Some of the errors. I'm gonna show you some of the errors you run into. I'm gonna come around to the bottom of this loop. All right, so then I have that. You can hit return. It stops it at a line. Then I'm gonna go back and space bar and be like, ooh, let's fix this up. I actually want to reduce the stroke so I can see it better. And then I just go to the direct select, not the select. And again, I can just click on a point, find the handlebar, and pull it. And that's how you fix everything. Just click on the anchor point, find the handlebar. And now I can tell they're yellow. You probably can't see them. If you need to change the color of that, double click off the word. This will come up and you can make that layer whatever color you want. So it's more visible. I'll do this. There, maybe that's more visible. So it's all about those points. There's gonna be some weird stuff that happens when you're drawing. So you'll be going and you draw. I'm trying to think of tight turns like this will be weird. And then you'll go and you'll be like, oh, I want to change this. And sometimes they get, oh, this one will leave. You can do in a circle. See how you can really manipulate these? So you have to kind of think about how that shape is, how far out you are, and if you go back on itself. So you kind of got to watch some of those tight spaces. It's all about, really, it's about taking your time in the beginning and just going slow. Here, if you look at this little curve, I'm going to do 1, click and drag, 2, 3, 4, click and drag, 5, 6 spots. Let's see. Click and drag to get that initial curve started. Click and drag to get the second. Click at the top. I only clicked once at the top. Then I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to end it. So there's a quick little sample. And then I look at the illustration that I got to copy. And it needs to be orange. So to congratulate myself, I'm going to hit I and boom, there. I got one done. You can break this up. It goes, past the Phoenix. I should have really done that better so the Phoenix wasn't pure black. But it's all about the clicking and the dragging. If you want to start and I can do this wing on the bird. Let's do the Phoenix. So it's this shape. Oh, I'll just reference it. There. Oh, I'll keep the same color. There. And then you should be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start, you just pick a spot. I'm going to start there. Click and drag. Click and drag. Now I'm starting and it's oh, it's filled. I don't want that. Without clicking again, just go to this little arrow, that reverse arrow right there. That will make the fill the stroke and the stroke the fill. It's this amazing little tool that I wish was over here. But I do this all the time. I'll start drawing. I'll be like, it's solid. I don't want it solid while I'm doing a pen tool. I'll just reverse that, and then I'll keep going. And then I'm going to need another one here. Tap. And it's just about going slow. I'm going to add one there. Get to a corner. I'm only going to click once. When you get to those tight spaces, the insides or the outside, don't click and drag. Just click once. Go again. And it's just wherever it's a high point, like a big bulge, click and drag. And this follows down. Point. And then here, click and drag. Point. Click and drag. And it's tap, tap and drag, tap, tap and drag, tap, tap and drag, tap. Like the outside is, you kind of get into a routine. And then I'm going to go back and fix. So that's the great part, is it doesn't have to be perfect the first time through, because you can always fix it. Tap. So then I will go through and find all those nodes and be like, where can it be cleaned up? So I zoomed in, I got the hand tool, I'm looking around, I'm going to go with a direct select. A lot of times I'll do the direct select, I'll click on an open area, and then I'll reselect the piece. I don't know if it's a weird habit. So you have to make sure, because the direct select allows you to like really change stuff. And it's different from the select tool, which if I go to this, moves the whole thing. So that's the big difference, is the direct select is directly selecting small nodes, anchor points. They keep changing names of stuff. But you can go in and just like play around with these. And let me tell you, some people do this for like hours to get it like perfect. There. So that's like one of those things where this will happen a lot, where you click on something and you don't think you made a big movement, and then the big S shape happens. Don't start clicking again. Go to edit, undo move, and then go back to it. If you ever run into that, you grab it and it's this thing like you're like, oh, that's not what I wanted it to do. Just stop. Edit, undo, and then continue. Clicking more never helps. Here, just this. And you just go through. And I'm just clicking on the node and moving. It's either up, down, in or out, in, out, up, down. And you can see how it changes it. And I'm just following the path. This one will start out a little rough. You will have trouble. But by the end of the week, you should, and pretty much everybody, unless they do that dumb click, 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 click to try to get through it, turns out really nice. This is like a meditation in design here. And you'd be like, that took forever. I never want to do that again. It gets faster and faster. Once you know it, you become very fast at it. But it's just kind of understanding how that curve matrix with the Bezier curves works. So trying to think of anything else that's there that would trick you in doing this. Practice on the side. Again, do some curves. Click and drag. Do some obvious ones where you're like, just try. What happens? All this stuff on the outside, nobody sees. Practice. And nobody cares. If you could open a document and just click around, use the pen tool, make different shapes, and delete it. Nobody's going to look at it. It's like sketchbook or something. Nobody cares. You can make a mess just for the fact of making a mess. and it's practice. Try these like curves and like, oh, I wanted a point there. Okay, undo, and then tap. You know, like use undo. Just try that clicking and dragging. Again, this is gonna take a little bit. It's all about the start with the click and drag, 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 click and drag. And you'll all be able to do this and make weird shapes like that. And I can take that shape and I can fill it with text. And you can. So, is there any question, comments, or concerns at this point with the pen tool? All right. I know you can do it. I'm around. You know my hours. I'm here until 2:15ish today, and then I'm here 8:30 to 4 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Come on in, work with me, hang out, work on stuff while I teach. It's all good. Cool. And yeah, and then use the mid-session review, and I will get back to you in a far more timely manner than I did this weekend, where I was just dead in the bed. So, cool. All right, have some fun. Do some rock and roll flames. Then you can tell your friends, you can do flames for their hot rod and be done with it. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you on Wednesday.